Day 5 is all about yin. Now, a lot of people, when they come to Soul Sanctuary, especially if they've come because they know a lot of my teaching, they know that there's a lot of vinyasa, a lot of power, a lot of free movement. They don't necessarily know that I also teach yin. And yin is where we are holding these beautiful postures for anything from 2 minutes up until maybe 6 minutes. And the reason that I teach yin is because it is an amazing way of tapping into the energy system and really taking a look at how these deeper postures and how our bodies can also correlate and relate to what it is that we are feeling energetically and emotionally. So as you'll see here, I have got my bolster. I recommend that you grab, if you haven't got a bolster, maybe a block or some cushions, maybe a blanket as well, because we're not moving much throughout yin practices. So it might be wise to wear something warm. We're going to get started today in a heart opener, which is why I've got my bolster. So you're going to come to sit in front of your bolster or your blocks and cushions. And you can also take the addition of a hip opener by taking this Baddha Konasana position through the legs if you wish. If not, you can just take the legs out long. And we're going to be here for about 3 to 4 minutes. And you're going to take yourself back. The reason why a bolster is great is because it gives your head support as well. But if you've got some cushions that you can stack up, then definitely do that. And then to intensify this, you can take your arms out wide. So closing the eyes and just taking these few minutes not only to arrive in our practice today, but to really check in with the heart space. So opening through the chest, we're coming to look at the heart chakra. And this space is all about love and compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. So as we soften through this space, can we notice if there's any triggers, if there's any resistance around those topics, those themes that I just mentioned? And then we try to bring ourselves to a place of surrender, where we're able to melt into the pose and really just feel into what's alive for us right here. I'll let you know when we are about halfway through, and of course at the end when it's time to go into our rebound. You're over halfway. Just a minute and a half left. Bring your mind back to that word, surrender. Our theme for this class, can you just let go? 30 seconds to go. Keeping that gaze inwards, the breath soft. And then very gently bringing yourself up and out, and you'll just roll away your bolster or any blocks or anything you had, and we'll come into our rebound. So a rebound is any restorative position where you can just try to be as relaxed as possible and notice the energy in the body. Now in Yin, we talk about our energy as qi. So relating to the Chinese medicine, and see if you can notice any of those sensations or that tingling in the spaces and the parts of the body that were being open. So if you had your hips open as well, it might be that there's a little bit of energy, some aliveness happening there. And then hopefully all through the chest and the heart, noticing all the goings on, even very subtle. Just taking a few moments here to observe and to become aware. Slowly bringing yourself out of your rebound. You're going to come up into a seated position. Now we're going to take a forward fold here in Yin called caterpillar. And the legs are going to be straight, or as straight as they can be. Now you might find you want to sit yourself up on a block, maybe even 2 blocks if you're quite tight in the hamstrings. And just going to start to walk those hands forwards and round through the spine. Let the head hang heavy. And again, we're going to be here for around about 4 minutes. So just noticing if there's resistance, if you find especially that your hands and your elbows are pushing you out of really allowing yourself to be deeper in the posture, and just see what it's like every now and again to just edge yourself forward a little bit more. It doesn't need to be loads. It's just working with that sense of surrendering and really just honoring any resistance that's there, seeing what happens. And opening through the backs of the legs, through the lower spine, through the back of the neck. Forward folds can have quite a strong reaction for a lot of people. As we fold, we really start to check in with Manipura, our solar plexus chakra. And around that area, we're looking at our confidence, our self-belief, our personal power. So if any of those thoughts or feelings come up for you, just allow them to float on by. Try not to go and delve deep into stories. Try to treat these yin postures like a meditation. But if emotions arise, be okay with that and allow them to come out. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable in this practice. So you're already halfway there. Notice always the tendency to want to open your eyes. And know that this is because usually we're trying to escape what's going on the inside, trying to distract ourselves with the outside world. So as much as you can, just keeping those eyes closed. Keep the gaze inwards. Keep delving in and being curious. Gently making your way out, making your way into a rebound again, wherever you want it to be. It could be a child's pose. If you want to bend through the legs, maybe you want to lay on your side. There is no right or wrong with your rebound, as long as you are in a place that feels restorative and restful. And again, taking these moments to notice all of the energy, any sensations happening through the back body. Maybe in that solar plexus area as well. Okay, slowly bringing yourself out of the rebound. Now, we're going to come into a hip opener. And then after that, we'll be countering by closing. So I'm going to give you two options for your hip opener. Option one is going to be frog pose. And like I said, have your props, your cushions, everything that you need to make this restorative. It's not meant to be super painful on the body. So either frog pose, and if not frog, then you can just come into a straddle forward fold. Okay, so kind of similar to where we just were, but straddling the legs because we want to be working into the groin rather than fully into the hamstrings. This will be opening through the hamstrings as well, but we want to be going for the groin. If you're going to work with frog, then you want to try and keep that 90-degree angle through the hips and the knees. And make your way down to your position now and close the eyes. You're going to be here for 4 minutes again. You've got this. Wherever you decide to be, stay with it. And these hip openers can be super, super emotive. All the lower body postures, especially while we're deeply opening through the hips, coming into the root chakra, and coming into Svadhisthana as well. So the root we're looking at, which is the base, the root chakra, we're looking at our grounding, our stability, where we feel safe and secure. And then coming up into that kind of like pelvic area, or a little bit above into Svadhisthana, looking towards our creativity, our sexuality, relationships, and the way we express ourselves. So this one can be very triggering sometimes. So again, tap into that word, that surrender, and see if you can really, really connect to that word and allow yourself to surrender today. Surrender to whatever comes up for you. And as always, be vulnerable with yourself. Know that there is always strength within vulnerability. Keeping the eyes closed. Okay, you're already halfway there. 2 minutes to go. Just 30 seconds left. Can you allow yourself to let go? Okay, very gently bringing yourself up and out. Ooh, and coming into your rebound. Now, if you took frog, then I offer up a narrow leg child's pose. It's quite a nice way to regroup the body, if that feels good for you. But if there's somewhere else that you'd like to go, then by all means go there. And again, taking these moments here to observe, to recognize, to notice, and to be curious. Okay, gently coming up to kneeling. And we're going to come into our final posture. We're doing it on each side. So we've got 2 more technically postures to do. We're going to come into shoelace. So shoelace, where we've just done an opening of the hips, we're now coming to close through the hips. So we've actually got, when it comes to energetics, we've got an amalgamation of the forward fold and then the activation of those lower 2 chakras. So we've got those 3 chakras working. So the root, and then Muladhara, Svadhisthana, and Manipura. Whilst all of that is cooking and happening, these postures can be, as like I've said, quite triggering. So just allow yourself to be there and to be in it and to kind of almost enjoy being in those moments with your emotions. We're going to take left knee underneath, right knee on top. Now, if this doesn't work for you, if you can't get to this position, then you might find it easier. Personally, this is harder for me. You might find it easier to stack knee to ankle. If this is still not happening for you, you can take a cross leg position and then work your way forward. So there's options here. We're going to take 3 minutes on each side. And when you get there, you're then going to forward fold. Again, closing those eyes. And trying not to let the hands or the arms stop you from really, really being deeply into the pose and deeply into your energy system, your body, your soul. You're already halfway there. Word of the day, surrender. Can you find it? Can you really be with that word? Just 20 seconds to go here. And very gently peeling yourself out. Come to take a rebound wherever you want to be. Close the eyes. Just allow your mind to scan over the body. Notice what's alive for you. Where is the chi circulating? Where is it traveling? Just a few more moments here. And then making your way all the way back up. And now this time we're going to take the right leg on the bottom and the left knee over the top. As with before, modify as you need to. When you're ready, start to walk those hands forwards and just make your way into the fold. So some people really enjoy and thrive on opening the hips. And a lot of the time you'll find you're one or the other. You either love to open or you really enjoy the closing. And ask yourself this, which one maybe should you focus on? The one that you love is great and feels good. But is there work to be done on the one that doesn't feel so good or it triggers you in a certain way? For me, this particular one, this gives me all of the feels, physically and emotionally, whereas I love to sit in frog. So this is where my work needs to be done. You're halfway there. Can you give in to that resistance whilst honoring it, but working through it? Can you surrender to yourself, to your mind, to the things that are holding you back? Seconds to go. And then making your way out. Oh, I couldn't wait to get out of that one. And then coming into your final rebound, which will also double up as our Shavasana, but don't feel like you've got to go straight to a Shavasana position if that doesn't work for you. So take the first few moments to, of course, observe and to just check in with your body. And then maybe start to think about bringing yourself into a Shavasana position. Palms facing upwards. Let's take a nice big inhale through the nose and let it go through the mouth. Let come what come. Let go what go. See what remains. Let come what come. Let go what go. See what remains. if you have the luxury of a little bit more time, then by all means stay here in this Shavasana for longer. If you're ready to move on out of the Shavasana, gently bringing some feeling back into the physical body. And in your own time, making your way up to a comfortable seated position. No rush. And when you get there, closing the eyes, placing one hand on top of the other at the heart center. Ground down through all parts of your body connected to the earth. Feel energy rising as you feel lifted and grow up and out through the crown of the head. We'll seal our practice with one big releasing breath. Take an inhale. Let it go. And then say to yourself 3 times, I surrender. Thank you. Thank you so much for grounding yourself through that yin practice with me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to yin and you really loved it, then know that there are lots of practices like that on the Soul Sanctuary. If you're unsure about yin, there's lots of dynamic and energizing stuff to keep you busy on the membership, but it's important to slow it down and do the restorative practices as well. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the mat again tomorrow. Bye-bye.